Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud, at exactly 2:34, 6:34, 5:34. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud, at exactly 2:34. We want to cancel you. So I'm not going to hear myself do Instagram, but I am doing this segment because pretty much I need to talk to you guys for a second about some things. So here it goes. So I won't be doing my homework on this segment, but I will be doing it the next time I come on here solo. I have an appointment at 3 o'clock. I had a lot of places to call and people to regroup with, and I just want to be sure that when I do this, that I go hard this time. So hard as in a good way, not hard as in a bad way. Go really strong, should I say. So, pretty much today has been a lag day. I'm still waiting on my air conditioning. And when I get on here, I'm gonna do one segment of homework product. I could wait till the weekend, and I'm thinking, should I do the project for week 4? Because we're just now in week 3, and I finished everything in week 3. It's just that I haven't finished the materials, the reading materials, and the materials I usually do. I can do that on a weekend because it actually lasts 30 minutes, which means it lasts an hour. So that lets me know that I'm gonna be 3, 4 hours on the projects, 2 per weekend day. That's what I'll do. And if I feel like doing more that one day, I will. Now, the week 4 project, while it's still fresh in my head, when I get back on here, I will be doing. My tutor showed me the ropes, and I need more paper. I'm running out of paper, man. It's happening! It's happening! It's happening! I'm running out of paper. And so I'm running out of paper. You know that time where you like, let me find a piece of paper, and it's like doom doom doom, and you like, well, where's the paper? And then they like, well, how about a pen and you write on your hand? Doom doom doom. Where's the pen? Doom doom doom. You're like, what? I don't want it to go to that moment. I don't want it to do a doom doom doom. No doom doom doom. So yeah, I've just been sitting here calling places, man. Some people I miss. I miss good old Santa Maria, the good people there. I really do. I wish I had more time. I wish I had more time with them. And what else? I I'm gonna stay on here until the next person. If the next person don't come on by 3 o'clock, because I sent all the necessary documentation to them. I said, please confirm you're coming. Nobody actually confirmed to me, but I'm gonna still show up. And if they don't show up, I'm just gonna shut down the studio. That's how I do it. That's how Kimberly Cloud rose. I'm thinking about getting some carpet. I got wood floors. I'm thinking about getting like 34 by 15. All the architectures is like, what did she just say? I don't know what I just said. I just want some carpet that bypasses my couch and my table. I can't get this is too light. Maybe it's not. I probably get a podcast speaker sit it on one of these things. I don't know, because that's pretty heavy. And then I would have to turn it around the opposite way to sit, to kind of like pivot on the wall. I don't know what I want to do. I'm thinking, where could I put one at? And there's absolutely nowhere. But without the Hispanics that helped me move in, I would not have been able to move this stuff in. So I give those Hispanics credit. They are struggling, but they own their own furniture business. They had a table and this chair that I had, and I went in there and they said we can deliver it today. I said, "Oh crap, today, oh crap," And so the next thing I know, we both leave out at the same time. I take a wrong turn. I take a wrong turn like a dummy. They were there before me because I took a wrong turn. I ended up somewhere by Office Depot. I said, how did I get all the way out near Office Depot? Because Seattle is huge, man. Seattle and New York must be neck and neck. Like, seriously. New York is probably a little bigger than Seattle. But I don't know what I would even do in New York. You go down the wrong block, give me your money. You be like, I don't have no money. Why don't you give me what you've been stealing from other people? And then we can break even together. And I drive your tail home, and then we can count the money together. That's how I go. I wouldn't do that. Come on now, in a real life situation, I'm gonna sit up there and be like, let's count the money. By the time I say and try to question that, I be dead. Come on now, I'm just joking. It's like my brain is like Spider-Man. Now, before you go there, be like, oh, she's on some missile. Listen to what I'm saying. You remember when he was fighting after he got bit by the spider? He was fighting and he was noticing. Now, I'm not that fast, but my brain is like, I know how to handle every situation. Like, for instance, in that situation that I was just talking about, I wouldn't say nothing. I would give him the money and go, because the probability of me trying to talk him down, I'm not a negotiator. I didn't go to class for negotiating. So why try to talk him down? Baby, we the same color, man. Why you want to do that to me, brother? F your brother. Give me your money. And I'm like, no, we brothers and sisters, you know. So the probability of that happening, I don't even know how I got on this subject, but I'm just saying, man, it's really funny. But oh, okay. I'll be calling back. See, people are reaching out to me, and I have to say, whether I go with it or not, um, hmm, whether I go with it or not, I have to apologize to Renee. When you're in a stressful situation, either way it go, when you're in a stressful situation where people are doing weird things, weird, and you're like stressed out, it's like you don't want to hear with nobody because nobody can relate to your story. When nobody can relate to your story, they don't want to be around you because they don't want that same energy. Understood. And I agree. If it was me, like for instance, we were at Social Security. I was at a building at Social Security, and because I needed a new Social Security card, and it was an old lady, that says she hasn't bathed, she hasn't washed her hair, she hasn't changed her clothes, she has a colostomy bag. And there was a lady sitting next to me, and she asked her first, can she go in front of her? And the lady was like, no, I have my daughter coming. And then she asked me, and I'm like, damn it. I'm like, what? What do you want? You know, my mind was just going a million miles an hour because this was a long line, yo. Social Security is a long line. All for a Social Security card now. So I was like, yes, you can go in front of me. I thought about it. I said, if it was me, I would want that person to go in front of me. So that's what I did. So I don't care about the race. I just feel like she was going through a lot. Y'all know what a colostomy bag is? That's where your feces lie. My grandfather had one before he passed away. So yeah. But I try to do the right things. I don't know. Sometimes I mess up. I'm not perfect. If we were all made perfect, then the ones that's not perfect deserve to go to jail. I shouldn't say it like that, but let me explain why I say that. If we had perfect, like an iPhone, you go to iPhone jail. Why do you go to iPhone jail? Because your iPhone stopped working. Why does your iPhone stop working? Because it got wet, cracked, damaged, or it's a defect. It's depressed. The defect is the depressed part. It won't act right. It won't open an app. It won't do this. It won't do that. So what do? We send it back to iPhone jail and they reboot it. At least they get rebooted the right way. But everything doesn't quite erase. And it's a possibility that it can happen again. Right? Right. So you can't say nothing is perfect. That's why people be like, hello, I want a new phone. Ma'am, we have to send you a refurbished. No, I want a new phone because I don't know what happened to that refurbished phone. Right? So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's I don't like how computers get treated like slaves. And I've said this before. I don't like it. We pay for it. I don't know if I want to stack up my computers the next time I decide to go out and buy a computer. If this one becomes defective, which I don't watch nothing that brings negative bugs onto it on this bad boy. But just in case I decide to get a gaming computer or something, no, I would never get a gaming computer over this baby. Just let's just use it as an example. I want the M4 chip in my Apple Mac. I would buy it, but I would keep this computer. I I was so in tune with my last computer, my M2 chip or M1. I think it was an M1. It was so slow though. And it wasn't even Final Cut Pro on it. It was just a regular uh, software to edit videos. So yeah, but I couldn't get rid of something that gave me information, helped me grow. Use Chat GPT. I used Chat GPT twice too. And let me tell you about that. I'll tell you, I have to be honest. I have to be honest. You know, I don't know if I want to be that honest. But I asked it a question, right? Sorry. I asked it a question and they were like, considering the circumstances, do you think that you're being a little bit off? Not they didn't antagonize me, but they said you need to learn how to get along with everybody. That's what they said, because it's diversity. And I know that I do get along with everybody. Don't get me wrong. But I just asked a typical question because everybody keeps slicing up Chat GPT. Oh, I use Chat GPT for this. Oh, I use Chat GPT for that. And so I wanted to know how smart they were. So when I said, what is a city where it's not cartels in, they said they didn't know how to answer that question. Then I said, what is a city where it's predominantly a certain race? And then they gave me some cities, but they said you need to be diverse, seeing as though it's a lot of, you know. So I don't know. I get ignored, and I like it. I like it. You know, I don't have to worry about nobody saying, "Who's that girl?" Because I'm different. I'm different. I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. I'm different, you know, and I love being different. I love it from my head to my toes. And I appreciate everybody that notices that even though I'm different, that I'm just a normal person that like a 5-year-old child said. I learned from a 5-year-old child on a commercial that Mars is 180 million miles away and Earth to the sun is, he said, from my tutor, because we had a long conversation, it's 90 million miles away. I hope I said that right. Because I was going to say everything he said, like from the T to the T, but I didn't. But I like learning about stuff like that, you know? And I can't wait to dig into my work because I'm not going to sit up there and get a bad grade. I want to jump into week 4, which is next week, and I'll be 70% through, 73% through, or 74% through. By Friday, 75%. By Friday of next, the 25th, 85% through. And the next week, 95% through. And then they grade papers. So yeah. Yeah. I don't know about the Chat GPT thing. I'm gonna keep asking it questions because it grows, and I think it got moderators on the other end. I don't know. It's another thing that Mark Cuban was talking about. I forgot. Come on, police officers. When they hit that button, they be like, light it up. I be like, no, man. Don't light it up. Light it down. Um, I don't know, man. Like I said, I want to try Chat GPT, but I did try it, but I just want to make sure that you know, I'm asking the right questions to see just how smart it is. But it was another one that Mark Cuban was talking about. I forgot what it's called. He said that they know every word and can teach you everything in the world. And that's what I like to hear. And he kept saying it. I only seen it like maybe 7 times, 7 commercials of it, and then they stopped showing it. But other than that, I remember when they were showing Chat GPT. So I don't know. I don't know. I love artificial intelligence, though. That's what I do know. I think that every Marty Kaiser, my neighbor, used to play with radio frequencies. He used to play with radio frequencies. And then he started noticing that the more he play around and build these frequencies, he can sell these frequencies to the FBI, the police, and the CIA. And so he started selling them to the police, the CIA, and the FBI, probably even NSA. I want to see if y'all, I'm not going to watch the whole thing. Oh man, I got 5 minutes. Remind me. Yeah, Marty, I hope nothing happened to him because I tried to reach out to him so many times, but he's an older man and I'm pretty sure he's like, I don't want no smoke. I'm happily married and I get it. We hardly even really, we talked, but we even took a picture. Let me show you that and then I'll get off of here. The picture we took. If I can find it. Doobie doobie doo 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 doobie doobie doo. Oh, oh! I don't want to see nothing else except the picture. That's why I'm not showing y'all. Mm, 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 mm. There we go. My hair was messed up and busted, by the way, just to let you know. And we're gonna wait and see if anybody pop on. If they don't, there go Marty Kaiser. Marty Kaiser, an old man that got mixed in some drama with the FBI and the CIA. Great man. And if you don't believe this is him, this is my neighbor. Hair look busted as crap, man. October 8th. No, this didn't happen in October the 8th, but yeah. Hold on. Let's see what come up. He do kind of look like him, but they don't show. Hold on. I got 2 minutes. I don't even want to know what that is. They done took him off the record. I remember everything I say to you is true. Marty Kaiser in SA. There he is, because he used to be big and small like me.
I just want to introduce Marty Kaiser, who is probably one of the most, if not the most, legendary experts in electronic surveillance and counter surveillance in the United States, maybe the world. And I've known about Marty.
That's my Marty. That's my Marty.
For years, and I happened to meet him last year.
And it's a very small contract brewery.
Look what happened.
The whole story of my life is in my autobiography, and I brought a few copies of that along. But I wanted to cover a few points that may be of interest to you.
We're gonna watch this.
I started my business in 1965.
Yup. So that is Marty. You can watch it. Hold on. That is Marty. So let me get on. Hold on. Is he on? If he is, I get off here. Nope, not on. I give it 4 minutes. If I don't hear the beep, I'm going to delete. If the glove don't fit, you shall quit. If I don't hear the beep, I'm going to hit the delete. Let's continue to watch it.
Doing industrial service. I did all the steel mills, plastic companies, breweries, every kind of industry in Baltimore. And I had this ability to walk in, look at a piece of equipment, understand the PC board. I suppose.
Actually, if you sit down, this will go mic better.
Yeah, I'm better standing up. We can do it. Hold on. Ingenuity. It's going to go higher? No, that's the highest it's going to go, but it's going to go higher. Marty Kaiser.
Is this guy a hacker or what?
So I was doing American Brewery in Baltimore, and it was a very small contract brewery. It had the last of the ammonia compressors left in the United States, which was a work of art. It looked like a German cuckoo clock when you walked in. Everything was pinstripe, and all the gauges on the wall had birdhouses around them, and it was a very pleasant place. But I always got there early in the morning when they opened the valves to cool down all the pipes, and beer would run on the floor. Well, no self-respecting man let that happen, so everybody had their own mug, and we just drank as fast as we could. So I repaired my favorite beer foamer machine. That became a second home to me, because I'd take the cover off the beer foamer, and all these cockroaches would run out and look at me, and I'd say, get over there, and they'd run over there, and then when I was ready to put it back on, I'd bang it with a wrench, and they'd all come sailing back into the machine. So
Cockroaches.
it was kind of a neat experience. So I was totally plastered one morning. And I left there, and I got lost in Baltimore, and I was driving around Dundalk, and I saw this sign that said U.S. Army Intelligence, Fort Holabird, near home. I thought, well, they have to have something broken in there. And that's a good one. I remember that. So anyhow, I happened to knock on the right door, which is a supply building, and told him I would fix a guy. And he eventually handed me this big box of receivers and plugging equipment to repair. And
you know how they got Big Luther, Little Luther? This is Big Marty, Little Marty. Little Marty was the one took a picture while I was Big Kimberly. Then I turned into Little Kimberly. Not the Little Kimberly. I'm talking about you're the Big Kimberly. You know, Big Luther, Little Luther.
I repaired them, and each piece of equipment had a price allocation tag on it. And I just happened to note it. But the main thing was that they were primarily using commercial equipment to do their intelligence gathering. Commercially available carrier current transmitters, commercially available radios, receivers, commercially available mini transmitters, bugs and stuff. So I made a proposal to manufacture exactly what they needed for their purpose. And the first product that came out of it was a high quality audio amplifier, which I call my 1059 amplifier. And this is typical of the kind. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, that's whatever. So anyhow, that's typical of the kind of work I do. Even though the PC board has changed over the years, the circuit has remained constant, and I've held it firm at that because it's good. The only thing I've changed is the input transistor. I've changed it from a PNP to a FET in order to lower the noise figure. So that was the first one. And then that was followed very quickly by a series of bugging devices. And I brought a whole stack of photographs of products I've made over the years, because this was in the day before digital cameras. So we put everything on 8x10 photos. But I had roughly 100 different bugging devices I made, from quick drop transmitters to AC outlets to everything you can possibly imagine.
I wonder why they stopped messing with Marty. It wasn't that he was a bad person, it's that they found something either cheaper and more intelligent, such as artificial intelligence, to make prototypes or something. I don't know. But somebody upped Marty, and then they possibly, I don't know how it went down, but allegedly, from what Marty said, they turned on him. This is the Marty that was my neighbor.
But I thought, well, we better have a detector
They made enemy of the state about him.
for all these things. So I whipped out this 2050, and this was the first product I made for the FBI, actually. We're talking 1967. Oh, okay.
I wanted to see it.
Yep, sideways. There it is. It's just okay. Just a good architecture, and it's been widely copied over the years, but there's still no form of modulation that can get by it. So I've stayed with the basic technology, adding a few little pieces as the electronics industry moved on. I couldn't get the type of meters I wanted anymore. I couldn't get the transistors anymore. So I've changed a few things inside, but I still make them. They're very popular. So that moved on into a product called a telephone analyzer. And let me see if I can find that on the screen here. Let's see. Whoops, I've done it now. What do? I lost my screen. Ed, how do I get my screen back?
Such a smart man. That's how I am. Such a smart man. Mine go blank when it's a whole bunch of people around, but still it's hilarious and funny.
Okay, there we go. 1081.
Before he turned it on, I see the bandwidth, showing the bandwidth, how far it can go out, and the sensitivity of how far it can listen, the listening part, and the bandwidth. That's what I see, and the tone.
First one?
1080 C. Let's try that one. Let's see. Here you go. Okay. Let's see. I think we can go up a little bit. Here. Boy, this is a hard mouse to move. So you have to visualize an industry that had no ending and no beginning at that point in time, going from commercial to products manufactured specifically for what they wanted. They had been using a thing called a wire analyzer, and I think it was made by Vector Industries, for testing telephones. And I said, well, why don't I make a telephone analyzer for you? So this product came out, and basically it allows you to measure every single parameter.
You know what's funny? He gave me a black box just like that, but it didn't have nothing in it. It had styrofoam in it. And then things started to be clear for me as what my husband was trying to do. You know what? If he had anything to do with waking me up about what was going on with my husband, I commend him, and he deserved an award. Because soon after that, I started seeing women rub on him. Women say that they were doing stuff, having sexual intercourse with him, and got pregnant by him. And it was terrible. It was terrible. I wonder what that was in those boxes because I never used the boxes.
The telephone. Now, bear in mind, when this was designed, telephones were rotary telephones. Eventually, touchstones came along, and I added some circuitry to compensate for the dial tones and detection of dial tones, but it still remained basically the same. This was the start of one of two, actually one of three adventures, and I want to go into that. Bear in mind, we're looking at 1969, 70, 71. Vietnam War is winding up, winding down. Racial strife is a problem. So there are a lot of things going on, and products were being developed. But as more and more people retired from these various agencies, that's when my problem basically started.
We're going to put a lapel mic on you.
Uh-oh. It's in your pocket. And let's see here. I got to see if it's working. Got my handy dandy bug detector. Okay, you have me yet out there? Testing. There I am. Okay, much better. So
That's where your problem started.
I was, quote, invited into the technical portion of the intelligence community. You had intelligence community development office, IMDO, or IMDO. You had the deception guys. They were a different bunch. So you had all kinds of groups. I was invited in, and they said, well, this is our problem, and what can you do about it? So I came up with all these products. The second meeting I wasn't invited to for a variety of reasons. The biggest of which was these people were retiring from the intelligence community, and they wanted to profit from the industry. So the first one of my products that was stolen was the 1059, and that was duplicated by a company called Dector Counterintelligence, and this was their product. So they drove me out of the market. Okay, they drove me out of that marketplace with that product because they were one of the good old boy system. I was not, so that was that. But they ran with it for quite a while. They probably sold millions of them. I haven't sold anywhere near that number of my products, but as people, it's kind of strange because as people retire from these various intelligence agencies where they have access to that, the first thing they do is buy my countermeasure amplifiers, so that they know which one is the standard of the industry. I heard something.
Yeah,
So,
I heard it too.
We had the Vietnam War building up and building down. We had racial strife. And I was teaching at Fort Holabird eventually, and people were being brought in from state and local governments to train there. And I learned that several of them were bomb technicians, in particular Larry Linville from the Metro PD. And Larry and I sat down one day and talked about the problems that the bomb people have. And I decided that he needed a slightly different version of the 1059, and I developed a thing called the 2049, which is a stethoscope with automatic gain control. That whole bomb business has gone off on its own. I've developed mini stethoscopes. This stethoscope here is an ultrasonic stethoscope, and it was designed right after the Beirut barracks bombing, which used a gas-enhanced bomb, where they use a propane to blow people up. Oddly enough, a couple of those bombs showed up at the Columbine disaster. Fortunately, they didn't have time to detonate the two of them, but they were tanks of propane with an explosive charge on top. Leaked the propane out, filed the explosive, and bang. So anyhow, that connected me with the bomb people in the country, and I dealt with New York City bomb squad. Dealt with every bomb squad in the world practically. Things were going along just fine in the manufacturing business. This product, the telephone.
Just listen to him for a second, y'all.
The
Hold up.
From that was appropriated by FG Mason Company. They made a copy of it, and then Dector, this company that duplicated the audio amplifier, made their version of it. That was followed by a CIA product. Let me show you the CIA copy of it. You'll see the similarity immediately. It was flattering that nobody made any changes in the design. They just stole it outright. Oh, we're going to tell you. Can you do this for me? My hands aren't that steady. I want to get that screen back. Okay. I'll go down to Cook. C-O-O-K-E. C-O-O-K-E. It's way down there. There we go. We're getting there. C-O-O-K-E. There you are. Cook one. Okay. So there's a CIA knockoff. Looks familiar.
Daggone it.
This product over here, those 5 connectors, accepted the 3-pin, 50-pin connectors that were on the later multi-line telephone. That's a copy of my 1080. What the heck is that phone? HT. All these switches here were copies
Oh,
of
no.
my 1080 LE, which was a line extender for my analyzer. And all these switches do basically the same thing you saw there, but they went out and did their thing. No control over it. People say, well, why don't you patent your product? I have 2 patents. Each one cost me $30,000. I've developed 600 different products. You're looking at $18 million I'd be spending for patents. It just, my position was that I could develop new products faster than they could be stolen. So, you know.
You are so funny, dude.
It worked for a while. Really. Thank you. Thank you. So it worked for a while. Let's see. I'm now in my heyday of 1974, really moving along in the bomb business primarily because bombings were coming up primarily in cities like Miami, Los Angeles, Philadelphia. Seemed to be the pipe bombs were all the rage. The average bomb technician at that time had a fishing reel with some heavy monofilament line on it and a treble hook, a pair of pliers, a screwdriver, a flashlight.
Just imagine what they have now for bombs. Just imagine what's brewing for the next millennium, or let's not say millennium, the next decade to 2 decades to half a century. Like, let's think about that.
Gloves and a lot of nerve. That basically was the bomb kit of the 70s. So I tried to take it from there to the electronics, the stethoscopes to find the time bombs. I made an inductive stethoscope to find digital wristwatches. I made a Doppler stethoscope to look inside packages to hear there any mechanism like radio control devices. You can actually hear integrated circuits, timing.
You heard what he said? You can look inside my book bag and see my crack pipes. No, I'm just kidding. You can look inside my book bag and see anything radio frequency, such as bombs or anything that has a frequency to it, such as if I had a phone in there, if I had a cell phone in there, you know, different frequencies. Paper, you'll see the square, and that's what they use now at the airport.
Kind of neat things. The Doppler also proved a good bugging device because you pointed at a digital telephone and it could read the CPU inside the telephone. You can extract the audio out of the phone that way. Get
out of here, Marty!
So that was kind of a spin-off benefit of it. So as I say, everything was going along, and in 1968 they passed a law called the Omnibus Crime Bill that made it illegal to manufacture, assemble, possess any device or any component thereof that was primarily used for the surreptitious interception of oral communications. That's Public Law 1812. It's the 18 U.S.C. 12. So it took them, they had a built-in automatic 5-year review period, and they were running behind schedule. So in 1974, the House Select Committee on Intelligence contacted me, and they said, we would like to see your records of sales of these types of devices. Well, fortunately, I've been dealing primarily with state and local and federal governments and the FBI. Sorry about that. In one of my transactions involving the FBI, the FBI took me over to a little company they had called U.S. Recording Company. And they said, we never buy anything direct, we buy it through U.S. Recording Company. which is our splinter organization. So fortunately, I had the moxie to go to the FBI, show them a product like the buggy strap. And I used to be able to call Jay or Brewer up on the phone and say, hey, I want to come down and talk to you. I think the reason he liked me, I finally figured it out. See, my name is Kaiser, which in German means king. And my first two names are Martin Luther. So I really
Oh shit!
really think that's why the guy liked me. Anyhow, he probably thought I was something strange, but we were two of a kind, basically. He did his thing. So anyhow, I happened to be over at FBI headquarters, and there sitting on the desktop of the technician or the engineer was one of my invoices that had been marked up 50%. My price crossed out and the 50% added in there. And I thought that was strange. So when the House Select Committee on Intelligence looked at all my invoices, they saw this U.S. recording company. And they said, who's that? And I said, well, that's the FBI. And so they went through all these invoices, and I told them that little story about one of those invoices being marked up. It was for a BT-50 body transmitter, is what it was actually for. So next thing you know, I'm before Congress, and I had planned to complain, and I was going to complain bitterly because there was a company in Fort Lauderdale, Florida called Audio Intelligence Devices who was manufacturing, assembling, possessing, inventorying, bugging devices. And I said, hey, how come you're letting this company do it and you won't let me do that? And believe it or not, I got a letter back from Attorney General Levy. He said, you do what you think is right, and if you're wrong, we'll arrest you. It's simple as that. So, honest to God, I have that letter. It may even be my website. So, anyhow, I was complaining about AID, but unknown to me, when I went down to give my talk, there was a speech in front of me that had been prepared by the House Selective Committee on Intelligence, centering on the FBI problem. So I went out to an ante-room and tried to correct it and did the best I could, but the story was out. And it hit Newsweek and Time and all the papers worldwide. So as a result of that appearance before Congress, my business fell from $500,000 a year to $450 the very next year. $450 the next year from $500,000 in sales. That's how the intelligence community can turn on you. And it's a very, well, in reality, it's a fairly easy terminal. All these intelligence agencies rely on the FBI for their intelligence. And if the FBI says do not buy from Kaiser, they don't buy from Kaiser, whether they like it or not. So fortunately.
Wow. So you heard that? He said an agency was doing their own thing, and then all of a sudden this agency, I forgot what it was called, it was an overseas agency, was doing other things, and then all of a sudden they got better equipment than Marty's, and then people stopped buying from him. That's crazy.
The bomb business was booming. That's one of my favorite puns. And that kept me up there. I had to lay off a few people and like taper down, so I was making bomb disposal and bomb detection equipment. And I was, as I say, I was selling some pretty heavy duty stuff. The story is on my website under my FBI story. Where is it? Let's see if we can find it. We go up here. Boy, this is one sensitive little mouse. I just, yeah, hit that mouse. Or hit that thing. Okay, now let's go to index.
The file called index?
Yeah, INDEX. Page, index. It's the very first one on the list. So where is it? Maybe I didn't put it on here. I'm sorry. Yeah, these are all the JPEG files. The home page does not appear as a JPEG file. It's a regular file. MartyKaiser.com. MartyKaiser.com. www.
Hey, how are you?
Figured I'd use that because it was me. So anyhow,
Yes, ma'am.
my business plummeted. And there was just an onslaught of attempts to entrap me.
Yeah, yeah,
I
and
don't
I
want to
wanted to
detail all
say
of them,
that
but they were just
I may be
nonstop.
trying to do it
And
in
some of them got
advance too.
pretty damn near violent. I started carrying a
Well,
revolver with me
not
because
pre-report,
next
but
FBI agent that showed up my door,
like,
that was going to be the last door he knocked on. I was really, really upset with him. So an opportunity arose
okay,
to help a customer, a bank in North Carolina, run by Edwin Duncan, called Northwestern Bank, and he had a lot of experience with the IRS and the FBI because Ed Duncan ran the financing operation for a lot of off-the-book projects. So Ed was a super patriot. He ran this bank, ran out of his back pocket, $10 billion bank.
because I'm
And he
online,
knew a lot
but they
about money
hear
laundering
something
because
else.
his
They
father
don't hear
had
me.
founded the bank on moonshine money in Western North Carolina. So he knew how to do this kind of stuff. So he was a banker, and I went down to the help out, and I bugged a couple of FBI agents, Thomas Brereton and Zachary Lowe. Zachary Lowe, by the way, is the son of the Lowe hardware chain. But
Okay.
so I bugged these two guys, and of course the bug was discovered 5 months after I planted it, even though they knew it was there. That's another story. So, because they were watching me the whole time, I was waving back at them. It just was, it was an incredible state of events. So I got indicted, and it just backing up, to get indicted, you have to go before a grand jury, and you go into the grand jury and you talk, and I took the Fifth Amendment 150 times roughly, because that's what my attorney told me to do. And when the paralegal came out, he said, I want you to tell me exactly what you saw. So I started around the grand jury room, got over to the foreman's table, and I said, well, there was the foreman, and there was FBI agent Brereton. He said, what? I said, yeah. He was sitting there. Well, that's a violation of federal law. And he could have been, it could cause them serious problems. So we had to call for a special hearing. And naturally, if I would take the stand, I'd say he was there. If he would take the stand, he'd say he wasn't there. So the only way to prove he was there was to put some of the grand jurors on the stand. So through a sequence of events, before I even went to trial, I had all the names and addresses of the grand jurors that indicted me. So I knew who they were, okay? So I went through a trial, and if you're interested in the details, it's on my website. Went through a trial, got acquitted. And after I got acquitted, I wrote to all the grand jurors, and I said, here's what you did to me. I wasn't mean about it. I said, it cost me $78,000 in legal fees. It cost me this much in lost business, blah, 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 blah. Forgot about that. A couple months earlier, these two FBI agents sued me for $22 million, claiming I caused them mental anguish. The one agent, Agent Lowe, said I aggravated, Agent Brereton said I aggravated the sty in his eye. And Agent Lowe said I aggravated his hemorrhoidal condition. So I appeared on newspapers worldwide. Kaiser pain in the ass of the FBI. So, but there was nothing in the United States. Absolutely nothing in the United States. Everything was all overseas. Korea, China, Saudi Arabia, front page of the London Daily Telegraph. Incredible. There's nothing in the United States. That shows you huh?
That has not changed.
Oh, you're right. It has not changed. It has not changed. So I turned around and I sued. I turned around and countersued these guys for libel and abuse of power and abuse of process, which I thought was a fair thing. And that resulted in my getting all of my FBI files stacked that high. I want to tell you something about those files, but the main point right now is there sitting on top of that pile were all 24 of my original letters that I sent to those grand jurors. And that's, of all the things, that is what disappointed me most. Is not one single grand juror said, hey, wait a second, Kaiser sent that letter to me. You're welcome to a copy, but he sent it to me. But they all surrendered my original letter to the FBI, and there they were, right on top of that stack. Well, when I saw that, I said, okay, we're going to add the grand jurors to my civil suit. I'm going to sue those bastards. You know, I read the testimony. They spent 15 minutes to indict me for crimes I could have been 15 years in jail for. You think they're going to be my friends? Let them suffer. Sue them. My attorney said, oh, well, he said, I don't want to be responsible for wrecking the grand jury system in this country, number one, and I don't want to be the most hated attorney in the world, number two. So he refused to put the grand jurors on my countersuit against the FBI and the two agents. I threw away $300,000 in 1980 dollars trying to defend myself, or pin them down in that civil suit. Lost tens of millions of dollars in business trying to get something accomplished. And I accomplished absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. We went through to 1986. All the attorneys had the hearing. I was the only person of interest there. I had an uncle who died 3 days later. The FBI agents were out making money somewhere else. All the other defendants weren't there. And the attorney for the FBI agent said to the bank attorney, or no, the bank attorney said to the FBI agent, or said the attorney for the FBI guy, what do you guys want to get off our ass? He said, oh, we'll take $250,000. You know, why do you say so? You know, got a couple checks and threw them across the table. And they looked at me and they said, take a hike. So it was either spend the rest of my entire life and all of my money trying to fight these guys. So I just dropped it. I just couldn't do it. The impact on my family was bad enough. The impact on my business was bad. So I've struggled along since from that point onward. But going back to those files, I want to make a strong point on them. First of all, when you look at the stack of papers, there were all these green sheets in there. And they were sign-out sheets for documents, where documents had been removed, signed out to so-and-so. And who were they signed out to? FBI agent Brereton, one of the very people who was suing me for $22 million. So, you know, he's claiming he's a civilian when I bugged him, but a federal agent when he has the FBI files in front of him. And that was bad enough. So as I read through them, they had me in 5 places at exactly the same time. And I said, well, they had me in Egypt, training President Sadat's security staff, which is what I was doing. I said, I will get the CIA to tell you. I'll show you my ticket. I'll show you my passport. I want those other 4 things out of that file. They said, we can't do it. So that's the basic problem with FBI files. They are built on informants, misinformation, fantasies of all sorts generated for some purpose, either to get out of jail or to destroy you as a competitor or do other things. And I want to tell you, every one of you are absolutely powerless to change those files. Absolutely powerless. And I wish there were a way for every one of us to be able to see our FBI files, to check.
You know what's funny? I was just about to say this. When I was in Colorado and trying to get my passport, and I found out that I owe money and I couldn't get it right away, I went to the FBI. I called the FBI and I requested my file records, and they just gave me some flimsy piece of paper saying, you've been cleared. If you were ever going to go to jail, you would be in jail. Dang, I was like, okay, okie doke.
Challenge him, to put a note down about him. He does not agree with this. Not a chance. Not a chance. So it's in there forever. That's the job of the hacker, is to get in there and get him out. So at the moment, I'm struggling along as a small business. I had myself and a part-time helper, a young girl named Allison. And we continue. I'm part of the State Department Anti-Terrorism Assistance Program. I make stethoscopes and blasting machines primarily for them. They bring in bomb squads, 5 at a time, bomb squads from all over the world to Virginia, train them on my equipment, send them back to their country, and they do their job, hopefully well, so they can stay alive. So, I think I've covered it all. Yeah. Do I have any questions from the floor? I'm supposed to set aside. Okay.
Are there any more pictures you want to show for the next
Oh.
couple minutes?
Yeah, I could. Look, let me just. First of all, my book is available in hardcover and paperback. The best bet is to buy it on Amazon.com. Its price has been holding pretty good. Initially, I don't know if you're familiar with the Amazon ranking system, but the lower the number, the better. And they got up to 274, which is kind of pretty good, up toward number one. Now they're running around 100,000, which isn't bad, considering it's been out a year. But I've started advertising in ham radio magazines, and there's a whole new interest in that because I have my call letters, W3VCG, on there. So they're available. That is not a commercial pitch. I do not make money on books.
Marty's going to be doing a book signing after this talk, right outside the door of the this room. So if you're interested in talking to Marty afterwards or getting one of his books, he's available outside.
Okay. This is kind of sad. I only brought half of the stack with me. As I said, I've developed over 600 different products, and it's fascinating to just leaf through these things for all the memories that are there from the start of time, basically. And there are a lot of humorous stories involved in them. Like there was a guy using one of my bug detectors in the crawl ceiling, the crawl ceiling. He fell through the ceiling onto the colonel's desk and smashed the desktop while he was searching for bugs. But you'll see a diversity of tracking systems for finding people. I've given up on that because their GPS is just too good now. Yeah, GPS is too good now. There's still a lot of pipe bombs out there. There's still a lot of bombs that tick. There's still a lot of radio control devices. You just have to keep up with it. You have to constantly churn out new technology every time you hear about something. And fortunately, I still have a few friends and some high agencies that feed me the forensic evidence, and I'm able to decide which way to go from that point. I'm 72 years old now. I'm getting tired. I really am getting tired. I'm planning to work till I'm 88 like my dad, but I don't know. But I really have to just continue to come out with ideas to help people. I've been completely blocked out of the roadside bomb issue. There are solutions to that, and nobody's interested. I think
Politics, Marty. You know, it's more money. When did you come out with this?
Driven by economics versus saving of lives. Sad to say, but that's happened a lot. So, okay. Any other questions? I have about 5 more minutes, and then I think I have to get out of here, don't I, Ed?
About 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Wow. Who has the mic?
Go
A couple weeks ago, Congress passed the FISA Amendments Act, which essentially legitimizes mass telecommunications. A couple of weeks ago, Congress passed the FISA Amendments Act, which essentially legitimizes mass telecommunications surveillance. I was just wondering what your opinions on that are.
You're going to have to help me with this.
The FISA bill lately that provided telecom immunity. Your opinion on that?
They granted the telecommunications companies
the FISA bill.
Immunity for tapping into.
It's hard hearing it because I'm hearing a lot of things.
What are your opinions on warrantless wiretapping?
The warrantless wiretapping? Been going on forever. Yeah, I want to tell you how that works. By the way, if a city can go before a judge and get a 90-day warrantless wiretap and run out the 90 days, and then they bump it to the next city, and they say, well, here, pick up where we left off. And they just keep bumping it around the countryside, and they've got you 24/7, 365 days a year. So it's all warrantless. But, it started with one warrant for 90 days, and it just goes on forever. Can't stop it. Impossible to stop. Okay.
You hinted at a couple of the things that you have done. I mean, looking out from the middle of a lock. Could you tell us, as just war stories, the clever kind of things that you've done for surveillance, where you, so if we walk into the room and we see a blank wall, we say, well, there's probably 20 cameras right there. I mean, what kind of things, how small are these devices? Where do they look out from? Just
Okay.
tell us how to be careful.
Okay, that's a good point. If you go to my website, there's a primer on there called the surveillance primer, and that'll cover most of your questions. They get down pretty small. I mean, as far as microphones are concerned, as soon as you hook them up to a wire, you stand a good chance of finding them. And basically what you use is a comb generator, which is an oscillator that generates frequencies, say, from 1 kilohertz out to whatever. And that impinges on the wire and reveals its presence. So that's one way of going about it. But the physical search is an important part. And I would think with a general purpose radio frequency detector and a beat frequency metal detector. Now there's a big, most of you aren't old enough to remember beat frequency metal detectors, but
For ham radio.
yeah. So yeah, when you went to the airport and they held a metal detector next to you and go, wee. You remember those? And they used to set the knob and make the thing. Those are called beat frequency. Now they're all pulse induction and other kind of technology. But you need one of those for checking wooden furniture and things in walls, because they will measure not only the metal content, they will measure the mineral content of the surface. So if you're going over 4 table legs and you get a different tone on one of them, then that means it's gone from minerals to metal versus, metal to metal. So that's what a beat frequency. I don't know where you get those now. I used to make one many years ago, and I see them advertised as vibrating metal detectors. They're beat frequency type. Okay, now hold on there a second. Let's see. I have a feeling I haven't answered all your questions. Yeah, I
said on your website, there's a tutorial, and we can read that.
Yeah. And I'm going to be updating that. I have to do more writing. I've been working on a movie about me, and that's kind of gone through the slam dance and some dance festivals and all kinds of things. And making a movie is very difficult. I guess you all know I wrote the movie Enemy of the State, I would imagine. So that was a fun project, but it took even though it wrote itself, it consisted of 2 parts, a 6-part Sunday magazine article written about the National Security Agency by 2 reporters of the Baltimore Sun paper, and my FBI story on my website. And Jerry Bruckheimer took those 2 things and sent them to David Marconi, the screenplay writer. He wrote the screenplay, came back to me, and then I took over from there. So all the technology you see in that movie is my stuff. I call it my stuff. It's equipment. It was fun. So there were some props there, but well, we spent about 1.5 years doing that, and I was behind the camera for every shot. I spent 5 months with Hackman and Smith and Regina King and Barry Pepper, the whole crew. It was an exciting thing. So, okay. Question.
It's more of a comment than a question, but I'm pretty sure you'll have some comments on it. $300,1980 equals $846,426.83 in 2007, not 2008 dollars.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I knew it hurt, but I just didn't know how bad it hurt. Oh, boy. Okay.
Great presentation, Marty. Thank you very much. The real risk of FISA for all of us is a huge percentage of people monitoring telephone and email communications are private government contractors. So, and they're basically copying, recording, and archiving forever. So if you're developing intellectual property, it's in the hands of your competitors because it can be easily bought and sold.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, it seems to me that a great presentation that you're talking about intellectual property theft was a primary motivation in all of your difficulties with the government. Is there anything that you can recommend for the rest of us if we're developing valuable intellectual property we can do to protect ourselves,
No,
given your experience and background?
it is, I would say it's impossible to protect yourself.
I'm not willing to
Yeah.
accept
I
that.
mean, you're-
I hope that everybody here will be vocal and verbal about what's happening, because this is what we're supercharged. If we have something of value, we need to be able to protect it and make sure that what's happened to you won't happen to us.
Okay, yeah, I did the Al Franken show. I don't know if you know the Al Franken. He's a California-based, and he asked me basically the same question, and my answer was no. Thanks for calling me. That was it. So, yeah, when you get with a group of people like the intelligence community who have no ethics, literally, they have no ethics. Morals, that's a different thing, but have no ethics. They have, since they live in a world of lies, thievery isn't that big a thing to them. I remember one example, let's just say they had the line school at Fort Hollyberg, and I was doing some work down there, and I went across the street to a little grocery store, and I said, I'd like a Mountain Bar, please. And the guy just looked at me, and I said, I'd like a Mountain Bar. He just looked at me. I pulled out a dollar bill, put it on the counter. I said, I'd like a Mountain Bar. He said, fine. So, I mean, he's just impervious to this constant lying and trickery, and it's really sad. And I have some pretty strong views on this, but my view is when these intelligence agents retire, we have a huge party for them, and then go out and summarily execute them. Yeah, I don't know what you do with them. You know, they're in society, and sorry about all you intelligence guys. Okay.
I was just curious, since you were essentially excommunicated back by the intelligence agencies, if since then you've encountered any, especially somebody from the FBI that is nice or sympathetic to your situation, or they just all kind of follow the company line?
Ed, where's Ed? I need my translator. Now I'm getting big echoes.
Yeah.
Here.
Since these.
Only retired ones, because if they're still in, they have to be very discreet about it. I still have problems with them. It just goes on. And I was on their A list when I flew. They hassled the heck out of me. Fortunately, I'm not on the no-fly list. But every little trick of the trade they had, they used on me. Fortunately, I have to say this to all you women out there. My wife's Italian, and she knows how the mafia functions. So she accepted what was going on with no hesitation. Sorry about that. Oh, 7 minutes, 7 minutes. Okay, I'll just keep dabbling away up here. But right now, as I say, I'm sort of semi-retired. I'm moving to my home in the Pocono Mountains and trying.
I've been to the Poconos. It is so beautiful out there. I didn't even know, but he's in Mountaintop. He lives in Mountaintop, between Mountaintop, Baltimore, Maryland, and now he's going to retire in the Poconos. So I get it. He's retired.
Trying to take it a little bit easy.
Or he's dead, which I don't want to say he's dead, because this was in 2008. When I met him, it was in 2019. He said he's 77, which made him 87, which make him 90 something now. I don't want to think like that.
But I just feel this strong attachment to trying to help. And I just, a few weeks ago, came out with a new product that hadn't existed in the marketplace, and we'll see how that goes. But I'm still creating things.
If you are going to surveil somebody, an intelligent agent, perhaps, what devices would you use? How would you set it up, etc.?
Ed.
If you were going to surveil someone, what devices would you use and how?
Well, the infamous cell phone, of course, is always a good attack. The Doppler stethoscope remains a useful purpose if you want to, say, do surveillance on somebody that's in a swimming pool. They decide to go in a swimming pool and have their conversation. They have Doppler stethoscopes that can measure the volume of water coming out of their mouth and extract intelligence that way. So, you know, that. But I think the old theremin technique is one of the better. Theremin. You ever hear of theremin? Theremin is a musical instrument that you put your hand near and the pitch of it goes up and down and all that kind of stuff. Well, his biggest thing was making bugging devices for the Russian government. And he developed a bugging device involving low frequency that used a taut wire. So you take a piece of wire and you make it taut like a banjo string or whatever, and you impinge RF onto it, and the vibration of the wire gives you the conversation back. And a variation of that was the seal of our U.S. Embassy that the Russians gave us, where there was a passive device in the seal. They irradiated it with 1 gigahertz energy, looked at 2 gigahertz coming back out. So you can do the same thing with a taut wire. So if there's a musical instrument or a piano anywhere nearby, anybody can use any one of those taut strings as an eavesdropping device. And that, when I did the movie The Conversation, that's the point I was trying to get across. He couldn't find out where it was because it was the instrument itself, you know, that kind of thing. Non-linear junction detection in that case. So taut wires are a tough one. You still can go in the European market. You go on my website, and there's a place on there called Price Surveillance. Buy all the bugging equipment you want, every single kind, all the stuff that's illegal here. He ships it in a brown paper bag, so nobody knows what it is. But it's still very readily available, very readily. There are some links on my website for kits that you can buy, and you can buy tons of different kits to do it. So I just don't want to bug anybody anymore. I don't want to do any more wiretapping. I've been there. I've made the tools of the trade. People have used them and misused them, and that's where I step out of the picture. Boy, I still have 4 minutes. I guess I'm on TV or something, but I have done quite a few radio and TV shows, and it's been a thrill to do that.
Okay, the counterpart to his question, if you wanted to find a bug, starting from scratch, where would you start?
Well, it's to answer that, trying to electronically find a bug requires a lot of equipment. I think the average purse is going to be 30 to 40,000. You need spectrum analyzers, you need RF detectors, you need audio amplifiers. You know.
He told me personally, when I was in Mountaintop with him, to use these apps, but some of them worked, some of them didn't, some of them you had to pay for, and I did find a detector somewhere, but yeah,
a whole bunch of stuff. You need nonlinear junction detectors. But there's a company on my website called Dynasound, and they have noise masking equipment. They have special speakers that go against the wall, against the windows, and it vibrates everything with subaudible sound. And it eliminates a wide variety of microphones, even microphones that are planted in the wall. The vibration will affect those. Years ago, one of our embassies was under attack because the Russian embassy was like 4 doors down, and they had contact mics strapped to the water pipes, and they were extracting room conversation by this vibration of the outside of the pipes.
Russia, what are you doing, Russia?
Okay, so I came up with a thing called a pipe banger, which is basically a rattler that you clipped on the pipe, and it would just sit there and tap on the pipe. And simple as can be, but this Dynasound is a company that's dedicated itself to this noise masking technology, and it's surprising how well it works. But as far as somebody walking in with a bug, it's a tough thing. It really is. You get down in the low microwatt range, trying to find that at any particular distance is very difficult. Okay, I think I've run it finally. Any other quick ones?
Well, If you thought the guy you were talking to was an FBI stooge and you wanted to find out if he was bugged, how would you do it?
I just carry a shock baton with it. Yeah. Yeah. I was interviewed by 2 FBI agents at one time back during this FBI's problem. And every half hour, the one guy would get up, he said he had to go to the bathroom, and he'd leave the room and go into the bathroom and come back out again and sit down. And half an hour later, he had to get up and he'd go to the bathroom again. The damn dummy didn't have enough common sense to flush the toilet. You know, you wonder, well, you know what he was doing? He was there changing his tape. But talk about a simple cover, but he didn't do it. Okay.
Marty, I just want to thank you for coming. Like I said, I contacted Marty out of the blue on this. He didn't volunteer to do this until we asked him, so this is a rare public appearance. Copies of his books will be available outside the room here. I'll be happy to answer any more questions you have over there, so thanks for coming to his talk.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, 2 of my guests didn't show up. It's okay, you know, something must have happened, but I'm going to go ahead and dive in. Give me a second, get my paperwork for my homework, and we're going to just dive into the week 4 homework. Hold on. Here I come. Here we go. Where is my pens? Where is my pens? Okay. Okay. So that was a great show. I never seen the whole thing. I only watched like 4 minutes of it. But something gravitated me to him when I first saw him at age 80 something, late 80s. I came up to him and I was like, "Hi, I'm your neighbor." And he was like, "Hi." And he introduced me to his wife. I was so happy. I was so thrilled. And I said, he just started going on and on and on about who he was. And for some reason, I didn't believe him. But then I said, I got really, really obsessed with the fact that I read about Odyssey of an Eavesdropper. There's so much material that when you read it, it's like, oh my God, this is a lot of stuff. And so what I did was I took a picture with him. What else? You know, I said, "Can I get a picture of you?" Um, and he was so happy. Just a wonderful, happy-go-lucky guy. And he would be in his 90s, mid 90s right now. And that's scary. He's been through a lot. And maybe the only reason he's not writing me back is because he's expired. I don't know. But he was very sharp for his age. Very sharp. I didn't even look at his age. That's how sharp he was. So let me open up. Let me take this off. Let me open up Word. I want to say that he's gonna live until he's 1,000. Because if I say he died, I'm gonna cry. Let's see. Thank him. I mean, he gave me 2 empty black boxes. And I was just like, what did you, it looked like a trombone would be in one and like a business, but it had styrofoam in it. I didn't look behind the styrofoam. I didn't think nothing of it. He said, here you go, here you go. I'm getting rid of things. It's like, okay, what's the harm in that? I'm not doing nothing wrong. Give me a second, y'all. We're going on week 4. I got a lot of work to do this weekend. Wait. I didn't do no responses for that one. But let's do this. Okay. Let me let y'all see what I'm about to do. Yeah, here we go. So me and my tutor talked about this. Managers need to make informed decisions. Using data research to analyze your business is an important part of making decisions and evaluating business performance. An IT manager analyzes service levels. A marketing manager tries to predict results of planned campaigns, and virtually any business manager needs data to identify relationships between relevant variables. Your skill in business research to analyze data and drive decision making helps you add confidence despite uncertainty. Draw conclusions about organizational performance and add value about your organization. This is the scenario which we talked about very in depth. As a manager of a customer service call center, you are evaluating. Let me write some of this down. You are evaluating the quality of the call center's operations. One of the most important metrics of the call center is time in queue. The time a customer waits for before a customer service representative comes to the line to help. To provide the best customer experience, you want the customers wait to be less than 2.5 minutes. So the way we talked about this is the best experience, you want it to be under 2.2.5 minutes, 150 seconds, industrial standard. You know, when they wait too long, customers are more likely to have a negative experience or hang up before being helped. Another metric you measure is the call center is the handle time. The service time, ST, the amount of time a CSR, customer service representative, spend servicing the customer. I need some glasses. I got my glasses coming soon. I'm losing my vision. Last month's average ST was approximately 3.5. That's way too long. 210 seconds. Your industry experience tells you that average ST can be influenced by customer service representatives' level of training, amount of experience, and whether the CSR can provide resolution to the issue quickly. Recently, you tested a strategy to have callers identify the type of issue they are calling about and then route calls to CSRs with expertise in that issue. The new protocol PE, new protocol, why they call it PE, is being tested side by side with the current protocol PT to see if ST, which is service time, is improved. Let me write these down just in case. Service time. Now I'm going to go into what we talked about. PE. I need something to drink, y'all. Give me a second after I write this down. Recently, you tested strategy to have callers identify the type of issue they are calling about, then route calls to customer service with expertise about that issue. The new protocol, new protocol, is being tested side by side with the current protocol, PT, where am I at? To see if ST, which is service time, is improved with this strategy. The regional director was hesitant to see if the new protocol for 2 weeks, already concerned about the customer's experience, but agreed to the test. After the first few days, the regional director is anxious to know the results and asks you to send a report. You ask the user experience UX team, UX user experience, to put a full report. Where's the TQ, time and Q, TIQ, time and Q, and service time for both. Sorry, for both protocols to analyze. It's hot as crap. Review. Cannot wait for my air conditioning to come next Wednesday. Write a 350 to 700 word email or memo about the PT test results. New protocol, current protocol test results. After the first few days, address the following to your email. Let's go ahead, and then I'm going to get my juice. We're going to go over each and every one. Give me a second, y'all. I'm all out of coffee. Chocolate. No. Here I come, y'all. Give me a second. I'm making some chocolate oatmeal. Okay. Oh, that's good. Okay. Analyze the impact. Let's kind of make that bigger. Come on. Analyze the impact of the new protocol has had on the time in queue and the service time. Okay, that's one. The new protocol has dropped the TIQ down drastically. Oh, let me let y'all see what I'm writing now. Hold on. No. Here we go. Okay. The new protocol has dropped the timing queue down drastically. And while y'all look at that, I'm going to go back to view assessment real quick because it was, what was it? It is new protocols 2.5 minutes, 150 seconds. The current was 3.5 minutes, 210 seconds. $60. Okay, that's a 60-second change. Okay. The next question. Determine if the PE should be implemented widely in the call center with that you know so far. If it's not implemented widely, then what happens is that if it's not implemented widely, that is the more the customer base grows and one tier of the CSR gets railroaded by consumers based on them getting through quicker, but not the right area of the call center, that would hold up many people who are trying to get through, period. I cut myself with a knife. Well, I didn't mean to cut myself, but I cut my finger washing dishes, and I just keep rubbing on it. I'm like, okay, not because I'm in pain. I was at first, but because I feel the cut, which I hate. Identify what additional data analysis will be happening. The protocol is working to analyze the portion of customer service representatives CSR to create, hold on, y'all. To create more ways to understand their problems with the services rendered. For example, when the customer calls, they ask if they want to have a survey at the end, or net or now they should have a call center tier system where when they say yes, they go to a live agent instead of a effing surgeon. I was about to say it, a survey. Survey. This way, human will communicate with other humans on this issue. Then give them to artificial intelligence to finish the survey. Initially, it should be a human, though. And then after they speak back to a human. Oh my God. Is this what they asked for? The PE protocol is working based on the service time and the PE and some 88% of the customer service agents to answer the question because they are they have cut the time down. There would have to be some tweaking, seeing as though the there would have to be some tweaking, seeing as though there are customers who join that agency every day, which in turn grows the queue. But for now, if the protocol is kept, then until the shift, and then more employees are hired as they grow, then this would be a great thing, and happy customers stay in conjunction with making profit. Explain how sudden increase of 20% may influence. If we had, like I said, an increase of 20%, we would have to hire more people and make sure that they are able to do the job. There, the time TIQ would be longer again, and everything that they did to resolve it would come back. But if we monitor frequently how the queue is growing through systeming, then we can make sure when it reaches a certain threshold, they hold on, y'all. A certain threshold, they would be able to put more agents on the floor. Two more. The data is successful if the hold time is dropped past 60 seconds. People do not want to stay on hold for a long time. They just want their situation handled. They want great to excellent agents or customer service representatives that are able to handle the seriousness or problem with the device or product. The new protocol reduces stress, period. Oh, this is the last one. Let me see what we wrote. That's what I need to write with him. Make to make sure that the right agents are doing the right job for 10 to 14 hours, to make sure that we continuously monitor the calls system, the calling system, to see what the hold times are and try to reduce it with more agents, to do more reprogramming if the agent isn't doing their job right, to try and even beat the time, the whole time, by an extra 30 seconds, which is 90 seconds all together, so that the reviews the customer get are better than ever before. How many words is this? Okay. Let me show y'all what I'm doing. Hold up. And we're gonna do that last one together. Let me see. When is this? 23rd. It's next week. When I get back on here, I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna keep it up. Let me make sure. Let me write this down. Discussion, week 3. This weekend. I'm gonna do 2 videos this weekend. I promise you. This is very difficult. This weekend, do what? 4 projects, 1 hour each. 4 hours. UOPX. What else? What else? Do videos this weekend. 2. So we're going to split it up. We're going to do 2 hours, 2 projects, 2 days. What else? I want to do this today. I want to respond. Week 4 discussion tomorrow. What else? So that's it for this week. If I do it this way, I'll be able to level out the videos that I do and everything. Thank God I have a tutor, because I did not know what I was doing. But I dang on sure can remember everything he said. And it made sense. All I gotta do is these 4, and then it's 3, and then it's 2, and it's 1. Okay, y'all. You know what time it is. The sister's about to finish cleaning up. I have to finish cleaning up. But it's been fun dealing with you guys, and I hope that y'all let that thing sink in about everything. And I'll be back on here tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a better day. And I appreciate you guys. Big shout out to Chris Briscoe. I hope I said your last name right, sir. And y'all take care, man. For real. I hope that y'all have a wonderful evening. You know, have fun with your friends and family, your daughter, your son, your nephew, your niece, your cousin, your little cousin, your big cousin, maybe Big Luther, Little Luther, Big Kimberly, Little Kimberly, you know. But I got to stop saying it's getting old, you know, me saying crack pipe or something. But y'all take care, be safe, and I'll see y'all later, man. Bye.